Playmakers, how's it going? Welcome back to the Before You Go Pro channel. I am pumped up to be back with you guys. We have another phenomenal week of content that is ready for you guys, and I'm excited. We're going to get after it this week, you guys. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. Please consider hitting that subscribe channel. If you are a football player, a parent of a football player, a guardian of a football player, a coach, or a fan, this is where you need to be Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. You may be saying, why does this dude have on the Christmas hat? Why does he have on the Santa Claus hat? And we're going to get into that in a very short second because there's a bunch of people that are pretty happy after this weekend, you guys. But also, if you haven't already, make sure that you go down to the description box, you guys. We've got some great football resources set aside for you, some free stuff, some paid stuff, some things that are geared towards getting you to the next level. And we also have some NIL resources for you young athletes today, and that is something we're going to be talking about in this episode of the Weekday Huddle. So make sure you go down to the description box, check out what we have in store for you, and take full advantage, baby. So, why does Coach Wood have on the Santa Claus hat? Has Coach Wood been around the community giving out money after Christmas? What's the deal with the Santa Claus hat, Coach Wood? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there are some people around the football community, some players that are very, very happy after this past weekend, that are very happy. Their pockets are happy. The people that love them are probably happy after this weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and stop looking foolish and take off the Santa Claus hat. But what are you talking about, Coach Wood? Why are there some people that are happy this particular weekend? Well, you guys, in football, especially once you get to the professional level, there's certain dates that are particularly important for the athletes, for the players. And some dates are becoming very important for college football players now that money's involved. So, depending on when you are seeing this video, we have just passed January 17th. What does that mean? That means the transfer portal is closed. So the transfer portal closed on January 16th. 2-week period where kids can jump into the portal, leave their old university, and find a new home. Now, unfortunately, there's thousands of kids that are still looking for a home, and some of them that may not find a home, but that's the deal. You got 2 weeks. There used to be a spring portal. That's done. You've got 2 weeks to jump into the portal and see if you can find a new home. But here's the byproduct of that. Here is kind of the residual effect of that, is that these teams that are either trying to retain their old players, you guys, or trying to get new players, they don't really know if they got these guys until the portal closes. So with my old players that I'm trying to retain, I really don't know if they're going to be back next year. And some of these kids, obviously, these schools want back. I don't really know if they're going to be back until we pass the deadline, until they can no longer jump in the portal. That's when I know they'll be back. With the new kids that I'm trying to get in the portal from another school, I really don't know if they're coming to my school until they actually arrive on campus for spring classes. So they could be in the portal and they could be telling me that they're coming to me, but I really don't know until they're at my school and the portal has closed. So, with that being said, January 17th becomes a very, very special day for athletes, because that's when the colleges pay, baby. That's when the colleges pay. That first payment for that new cycle of NIL is going to come to the athletes, most of the athletes, on the 17th, the day after the transfer portal closes. Because what? They know that you're not going anywhere else. So we've got athletes that we have worked with that have recently signed new NIL deals. And for the athletes that we've worked with, they get a payment calendar where the wire goes to the bank account, baby. The money has arrived, the bird has landed. They get a schedule so they know exactly when their payments are going to land. And for 90% of them, that first payment is the day after the portal closes. So that is why we had on the Santa Claus hat, you guys, because we just had a weekend where some kids got some young men got some pretty hefty direct deposits to their bank account, which is always a beautiful thing when your bank account gets hit in the positive nature. So there's some kids walking around flush with cash. If you're looking on your TikTok or your Instagram and some kids are flaunting a little bit, you know why, if they're a college football player. So, with that being said, though, you got to understand the other side of it for you young athletes out there. Yes, applauded, great job, especially if you got the school that you wanted to go to out of the portal, or you got the deal that you wanted and you're staying at your current school, but they're respecting you and they're giving you what you deserve. Congratulations to you if you are one of those athletes that got a nice little pretty deposit this weekend. However, with that being said, you guys have to remember what comes with the money. Because now college sports is different, especially if you're coming to a school through the portal. That they didn't get you out of high school. You are literally coming as a hired mercenary to their university and they're paying you the big bucks. One thing that you have to always keep in mind, you guys, the sweet side is getting that direct deposit. The sweet side is what you can do with the money, but there's a whole nother side to that money. And that other side to the money is you better show up on Saturdays or whenever your school has a game. And some of you guys are going to programs so big that you're literally going to that program because they're thinking you can help push them over the top. We got a young man that's going from Oregon to Notre Dame. That they're thinking you can help push them over the top. So you have to understand the relationship changes when money's involved. The relationship changes when money's involved, and it's not going to be warm and fuzzy, you guys, especially if you're going from one school to another school through the portal. They don't care about you. They care about what you can do for their program. And they're paying you for it, so I'm going to hold you to it, and I'm going to feel a certain way if I don't get my money's worth. So this is a whole new day and age. There are going to be certain dates where kids are going to be flush with cash, but also understand that you better be flush with production because they're not going to have time to let you stick around, get your degree, and do all the things that typical college students get to do if you're not bringing them results with that money. They're going to replace you. This is a 1-year deal. They're going to say, hey, thank you for being here for this 1 year, but we think you need to go elsewhere. So you guys keep that in mind. College football is changing. There are some life-changing things, rules that are highly in favor of you young athletes out there, you families of athletes, but also remind yourself that this is a marriage based off money, especially if I'm coming to a school through the portal. This is a paid arranged marriage, and I need to produce. They're not bringing me here for the warm and fuzzy. They're bringing me here to produce. And also, I'm probably not going to get too much love from the other guys on the team already that know I'm being hired as a hired mercenary and know that I'm probably making more money than them. So there's always the beautiful side, and you deserve to be applauded if Christmas came in January for you this past weekend. But also remember, baby, now that portal's closed and they chose you. And they chose you for what they think you're about to do. So you got to be prepared to go out there, be professional, and make something happen if you're one of these kids that got a fat payday. There's some Colorado kid. You see the helmet in the background? That's my alma mater. We lost some heavy hitters. We lost Omarion Miller. We lost Jordan C. We lost some heavy hitters. But they better realize it ain't all about just that payday. Now you're at another school where they don't care about you and your family as much as maybe the school that recruited you out of high school. What they care is that you make good on that money they gave you. So, new day and age, you athletes, be careful, you be smart, you think long term, and you're going to be okay, baby. If you have any questions, anything that you need support with, feel free to reach out to us at Before You Go Pro. We're built on helping athletes succeed. That's what this is all about. So if you have any questions or you're a family member that might have some questions about the industry, feel free to reach out to us at Before You Go Pro. Definitely come back to the huddle every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, because I'm right here and we're covering the real-time topics, baby. And some of you guys are going to have to go through this. So why don't we learn from others? Why don't we learn from others? So, love you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Christmas time, baby. Christmas time in January if you're a big-time football player. As soon as that portal closes, direct deposit hits your account, baby. So, hopefully that's you. And make sure you go in the description box. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And make sure you come back tomorrow for another day of the Weekday Huddle with Coach Wood. I'll see you at the top. Have a good one.